Wow. Just wow. Buff Nation, welcome back to another video. I mean, talk about a football game, ladies and gents. That was fun to watch. That was incredible. We're going to talk about rushing the field. We're going to talk about Travis Hunter just being absolutely him, which we already knew, but just a little bit of extra confirmation never hurt nobody. Okay. Talk about the D line, talk about a lot of things in today's show. But you guys sit back, relax, smash the like button, subscribe if you guys do enjoy this kind of content. Let's roll the intro, baby. What a fun game. What a fun way to get it done. This is massive in multiple ways. There's so many things to break down. We're going to talk all about it. At the end of the show, at the end of the game last night, I was zonked. It was a long day, and I'm watching this, and there's why I enjoy watching Colorado. There's just this weird feeling because with Shador Sanders and this wide receiving core, I genuinely feel like they can always pull something out of their hat. Like that's what I felt like. And even down when they're at the 50, I'm like, if there's a team that can make this happen, it's gonna be Colorado. And sure enough, hey, LeJohntay was somewhere down there somewhere. Get him the rock. Incredible play at the end. But what I loved the fact was pulling a game out like this. There were so many times last year where there was games like this, and I feel, and I'll get into when we break down the stats, that I feel like they won the whole game. But because of a few errors, the Baylor hung in it. Baylor did a good job hanging in it, and then we had that last little lead at the end at the right time. And Colorado kind of was going to find themselves in a position of like, maybe we just ran out of time again. And that was a lot of the story for last year for the Buffs. Not this time. This time they were able to obviously have the Hail Mary player, which Coach Prime talks about. He's like, look, this is all glory to God. Like some people call Hail Mary, some people call this. I call it Jesus looking out for us. And absolutely, you gotta talk. Sometimes just like, look, I don't know what we did. We slung it up there and hope someone would catch it. And it's exactly what they did. Then they go into overtime, handle business, and then we're gonna get into the Travis Hunter stop. My golly, that young man is something to watch. He is so good. It's so fun to watch him play. How he's not getting more votes for Heisman talk is just beyond me. But obviously, the Buffs fan base rushes the field afterwards, and people are going to troll and have fun with this because it, I look for me. I love it. This is what makes college football great. It's the first one for Big 12 for Colorado back in Big 12. It was a big overtime win in the rain, right? This fan base has been clamoring for this kind of excitement. It makes sense. I don't understand. I do understand why the people troll it. I get it is what it is. Part of the game. It's fine. Clemson, they rush the field after every win. That's tradition. That's what they do. So people always make fun of Clemson. So it's part of it. This, in my opinion, was a very reasonable game to rush the field, right? Rushing the field typically, has to have some weight behind it. This to me had all the weight that it needed. Big 12 game, which Colorado knows how important the Big 12 conference games wins are. First time, in Big 12 since how many years? And then to win the way that they did in overtime when your back was against the wall. And they rushed the field a little early, but they still were able to handle business. Let's talk about a few things, though. Some things that I would like to see going into next week against UCF, because UCF has the number one rush offense in the country. Now, Baylor had the number one pass defense, which I spoke a couple episodes ago. That was a little skewed, but they looked to be sound yesterday. They gave Shador and that offense some trouble from the passing game. I have my thoughts and opinions about that, but I want to talk about this defense that concerns me because I think the defense still played very well, although they gave up 31 points. I felt like a lot of it had to do with just not enough tempo on offense. But they gave up 166 rushing yards. They were able just to continually effectively run down the football, run down the field, and that's what concerns me about a UCF going to UCF as well. That frightens me a little bit. A mobile quarterback and KJ Jefferson, those things they've got to get figured out and tighten down a little bit. Should be some things to watch and look out for Warren Sapp. Again, I defensively, I've been speaking about it for the last two games. I feel like that defense is clicking. Offensively, is where my concerns are. I think Shador Sanders at times just hangs onto the ball a little bit too long. And I talked about this two games ago, or last game. After the last game, it was like there needs to be more development for short plays. Just get this thing off. Allow for a rhythm to happen. Don't always look for the big play. We all know you can do the big play, and I think it's fantastic. But you've got these guys like Jonte Wester, Jimmy Horn, and Travis Hunter. Just get them the rock in space. And sometimes they'll throw that little bubble screen route, which is great. Just let those guys catch the ball. Would love to see some more slants and just check downs. I think they just give them that opportunity. These plays are taking a little bit too long to develop. Jordan Seaton is still having some growing pains. I think he's doing a fantastic job on the left side, but I'm watching last night. They had that holding call called because I was like, guy's just getting blitzed. He's getting hurried. And the line kind of knows that we have time, so they're able to be a little more aggressive because they know that everyone's going out. And that was why Shador had those big breakout runs because everybody's down the football field. So I would like to see Pat Shermer adjust that a little bit. The run game seemed to be getting a little bit of a rhythm, which was great. They had um 91 rushing yards. So a little more of a run offense, which was good to see. Again, towards the end there, the run had to go away because of the time circumstances. But all in all, was glad to see a more of a healthy tempo back and forth. Again, I think if you just allow for Shador to dump off some more passes, again, we kind of make fun of the quarterbacks now being game managers and Dink McGee's. Shador could use just a little bit of that. The play calling could help with that a little bit to allow for the line to get more confident as well too. So those are going to be some big things I think to focus on headed into this UCF game, which I'm sure they will. Now, obviously we know how the game unfolded, goes in the overtime. They get the ball first, which they wanted. Coach Prime said in his presser, we wanted to go out there first to kind of set the tone and put their defense against backs against the wall. Scored very, very easily. Good, kind of be to get off that momentum of just scoring as well as big. And their defense was just on the football field too. Keep in mind for how many minutes. And again, Colorado had 35 minutes to 24, so they had the ball for 10 more minutes than Baylor did last night. To me, it felt like Colorado won the whole game. That's why I was frustrated at the end. I go, I can't believe this is where it is because it feels like it should be 45-20. That's how it felt. That's how it should have. That's how it felt by the way the game was just going back and forth. But Baylor, just when they had the ball, just kind of poked away at it. And then Colorado had multiple possessions on offense, just never really found multiple rhythms, right? A couple big plays. And again, so ultimately won the game, which is the most important thing. But I love this in the presser. Hunter said, Shador told me to go out there and get the ball once we scored in overtime. And I told him, I got you. And I kept my word because this play right here, I mean, come on. Come on. You want to talk about mano, one on one, you, me, let's get after it. And puts his head on the ball, knocks it out on the 1 yard line. And great play by the linebackers. I want you guys to realize this. Ball's on the ground. You're in the heat of the moment. You think, go get ball, right? Which could cause the ball to bounce around and somebody to scoop it up. The lineman, I believe, in the backfield, and maybe a cornerback too, both of them were just like, get this bitch out of here. Just slap it through the back of the end zone. Such a heads up, bang, bang play. Because again, in that moment, you want to get the ball. You want to just hop on it, cover it up, and be like, I got it. But the smart play is to just knock it out because why allow for someone else to possibly pick this thing up? So all around, great discipline in a big time moment. Huge, huge play for the Buffs to get that done. And like I said, I'm going to do a breakdown with the O line. I'm going to check out PFF scores for O line and D line as well. We'll love to see where this O line could use some work. Again, Jordan Seaton, I think, is exceptional. Still getting beat, just being a rookie. That's just part of the game, and teams are going to know this and try to take advantage of that. And that's why I think the play calling should address that, right? Should complement that at times. But defensively, I think this team has really found its identity on the defensive side of the ball, which speaks volumes, right, to what the future could look like because the offense has a lot of pieces that came from Jackson State, obviously, and that a foundation that Coach Prime has been building. But defensively is a complete rebuild outside of the Travis Hunter part, for the most part, right? This D line, linebacker play. These are guys they've either recruited, kept, built through the transfer portal, and with great coaching and great development, you see what this D line's been able to do. So really excited to see how they're going to pull it up against UCF next week. UCF, I believe, is undefeated in the Big 12 as well. Oklahoma State goes down, which I felt they would against Utah. Utah's like the best team currently, I think. Kansas State goes down to BYU. They were the big dog. The Big 12 is busted wide open. And I've been saying it since the beginning. The Big 12 is probably the conference that has the most open door policy for anybody to come up here and take it. Just depends on who wants it. The fact that Kansas State just gets beat by BYU, which people didn't feel that was even be possible, shows that they're beatable. And that was always my biggest thing. There's really no one team that just is separating themselves. Utah seems to be the most sound team. They're beatable, but the most sound team with just Kyle Whittingham there, that is going to be a hard team to beat. But if that's the one team, I mean, you meet them in the Big 12 championship, that it is what it is. So Kansas State, Oklahoma State, these two teams that were the top dogs look beatable. Kansas looks beatable as well. That was a very tough team last year. UCF could be one of those other teams that could be the argument, who's up there. Again, Colorado being there as well now too. So that's going to be a fun one this week to see really, I would say, where is this tiered echelon for the Big 12. Now, also some news happened. There was a tweet before the game started, and we're going to have another video about this because it's about recruiting. It's completely separate from all of this. Looks like the Buffs might be on a little bit of a burner here, landing a four-star safety. So keep your eyes and ears peeled out about that one. Maybe another recruit as well too. We always love to read the tea leaves to see how things are going to be happening. But all in all, great week for the Buffs. Huge win for the Buffs and Coach Prime going into a massive weekend against UCF. It is going to be another dicey one. Gus is a great head coach. KJ Jefferson's looking to have himself a big senior year, so this is fun. The Buffs are right where they want to be, 3-1. I mean, they are on a good pace right now. Again, I felt they could be 4 home at the Nebraska team, who also went down on Friday against Illinois. Big loss there. We saw Del Raiola kind of have his freshman moment finally. Not finally, but you know what I mean. It's bound to happen. So look, came across a good team in Nebraska, but Baylor again, the number one pass defense in the league, definitely showed that. So a lot of areas to grow and win on and grow from there. But the biggest thing I would say is look, they found a way to win. When last year at times in these moments they would not find a way to win. So big growing moments for the Buffs. Hope you guys enjoyed the kind of content. If you do, obviously subscribe, smash the like button, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.